Om. Namaste. Thank you, Father, for another amazing day. A day of blessings and tribulations that are allowing me to grow and empowering me. Please continue to shed away all that is no longer serving me. Please also help the ones that are in here right now looking for a sign. Please allow them to see their true power. Allow them to resonate with the insights that you are sending them so that they can better live and feel fulfilled more often. May the world awaken to their highest potential, and may they see how amazing this realm really is. May the egoic mind fall and surrender to the cosmic mind, so that the cosmic mind can shine ever brighter in this realm that we call Earth. Amen. Hello, Molly. Hello, Bailey. Always a pleasure to see you guys. If you guys know anyone that would benefit from this reading, please invite them or share this out. Hey, Natalie. Thank God it's Friday. Today I'm going to be reading from Practicing the Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Very powerful book. This is a smaller version than the book he first came out with. This is kind of like the cookie cutter version of all the stuff that is potent in his Power Now book. So I'm just going to flip through the pages and at random pick a spot. The psychological condition of fear is divorced from any concrete and true immediate danger. It comes in many forms: unease, worry, anxiety, nervousness, tension, dread, phobia, and so on. This kind of psychological fear is always of something that might happen, not of something that is happening now. You are in the here and now while your mind is in the future. This creates an anxiety gap. And if you are identified with your mind and have lost touch with the power and simplicity of the now, that anxiety gap will be your constant companion. You can always cope with the present moment, but you cannot cope with something that is only a mind projection. You cannot cope with the future. Very potent little paragraph I just read. We tend to live in the future or the past, like the book was just saying, and we're so quick to want to get certain things or want to plan certain things that we lose sight of the now. We lose sight of how important it is to stay present in the now. How if we just learn to rest in the now, it will naturally make us feel fulfilled, make us feel happy, and from a fulfilled, happy place, we make better choices than from a place of disconnection. That's why using the now is one of the most powerful things we can do to align to our highest potential. It doesn't seem to work at first because we've been conditioned by our egoic mind to always do something to be better, or always go somewhere, or always change something, or always fix something. And these are all things that are keeping us on this hamster wheel of, if I do this one next thing, things are going to get better. Like the saying, the grass is greener on the other side. The grass is not greener on the other side, because if you can't be happy now, then it's going to be hard for you to ever find that peace with what your shadow mind is telling you that you need to do to be happy. I'm inviting all of you to really get good at sitting with yourself in the moment and to just rest in the gaps of silence, the gaps of in between your thinking, the gaps of what you see. Focus on the unseen. get good at seeing what is not normally noticed, and the unseen will start to speak. It will start to communicate. It will start to show us how it's always been in communion with us, because it is allowing us to exist. Therefore, it has to be a part of us in some way. The more we align with the unseen, the more in tune we will become. And also, the more the things that are unseen will empower us and will become more real in our reality. Of course, you can't prove it to others, because some people just like proof. They like facts. They like objects. But what I'm talking about here is beyond form, beyond time, beyond space. The power of now is power. The now is powerful because the now is eternal. There is no moment in time that has not been the now. We like to call it the past, the future, but we have never lived in the past or the future. We have always lived in the now. If you want more, I suggest you get this book, because there's a lot in there that I can't cover in 10-20 minutes. So that does it for the book. Now I'm moving on to the oracle cards. I'll be using, wrong deck. I have so many decks, I grabbed the wrong one. I'll be using Daily Guidance from Your Angels oracle cards. I haven't used this deck in probably over a year. It was one of my beginner decks when I first started doing readings, and it was always fun to use because it's pretty easy to read, and it gives you quite a bit of information on each card. If there's anything that you feel compelled to share with this group of amazing people and with me that is going to better tweak or better shift the reading to a certain energy or a certain topic, please feel free to do so. There's no judgment here. A lot of the things that people ask about are things that I'm also dealing with, so you are actually helping me by speaking up and saying, this is what's going on, I need help. Nothing wrong with asking for help. Molly says, I've been doing a bit of shadow work lately, been meditating a lot too. I don't have the patience for meditation, but I have been doing really good lately. I'm quite proud of myself. I'm proud of you too. Meditation is not easy at first because it is completely opposite of how our egoic mind functions. It's like you're shutting off the switch, so it's losing its power, and unfortunately, because it's losing its power, it's going to rebel back. But the more you cut the cords, the less power it's going to have over you, and then that's when you're going to have what's called the second birth. You're going to feel blessed and appreciative just naturally, because you're not going to have that commentator always bringing you down, always making you feel like what you're doing is not what you should be doing. So I applaud you for doing shadow work, and anyone in here that's doing shadow work. Shadow work is not easy. You have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. You have to go back to your past. You have to understand why you see the world. You see it the way you see it today based on your past and your traumas, and you have to revisit those traumas, and you have to understand them in a level where they are no longer considered trauma in you. They can even be considered blessings. The whole idea of an alchemist is someone that turns dirt into gold, and that metaphorically means someone that can take something that was poisonous in their life and turn it into something that is a blessing, something that is empowering them. And we all have this ability. But first we have to take back our attention, our awareness. We have to take back our consciousness. We have to stop being asleep to what's going on around us and observe the observer. Observe the so-called entity that is in your body and see it from a detached place, so that you can feel the difference between observing yourself from the emptiness versus thinking that you are the person in the body. And from there, it's a lot more restricted. It's a lot more tight. You're a lot more impulsive when people say something. If you're observing yourself, if you can perceive the perceiver that's perceiving you, then that allows you to have more space. It's like you're living life not only on the screen as the character in the movie, but you're also living life as the audience watching the movie, knowing that the movie is not real. So you kind of get best of both worlds. It's a very amazing place to live in. But in order for us to live there and stay there and it not be a trip that, you know, you experience it, then it goes away, we have to die before we die. We have to disappear. The identity, the mask that we have created needs to fall away. It needs to disappear. And it's not going to go easy. Shadows, the key to the magic. Amen. Healing, dealing with loads of anxiety and mistrust. Yeah, mistrust, that's another one that it will try to convince us that we shouldn't trust our moment, the power of now. Like I was saying, a lot of us don't trust the now, so we feel that we need to do something to make the now better. And that just creates anxiety, and it creates this sense of not fitting in, this sense of something missing. And that would drive anybody crazy. First card is Cupid. Cupid. We send great waves of love into your heart and mind, awakening your love for life itself. Your clear decision to accept and enjoy romance has triggered this reawakening. Allow yourself to spontaneously celebrate love in all of its glorious aspects. And I know this card has a relationship flavor, but I'm picking up that this is more to do with our relationship with our higher self, with our beloved, with the place from which our existence comes from. We're so captivated by form. We're so in love with and attached to our objects, the people in our lives. We think that those are the things that are going to get us to feel loved and to feel appreciated. I don't know about you guys, but I've been having this awakening lately that although it's great to have people that love you and have experiences that make you feel good, they're fleeting. They don't last forever. Even if you have a significant other that you're married with and you stay with your whole life, there's going to be a day where you are both going to pass, and nobody knows where the soul of each one will go. What's more important is that we love our being, we love our existence, because that is eternal. And the more we learn to be with ourselves, the more we learn to enjoy ourself, our inner self, the more we will feel love just naturally. The more love will just overflow. And it will be like a romance. You know, we can feel this romance for ourself. And I know that's very far-fetched in our society, because people talk about anxiety and insecurities and judgment more and blaming more than something like unconditional love. For some people, I just posted something earlier and someone was saying how unconditional love is being narcissistic, and that just proves to me how far-fetched these ideas of pure love are for some people, because they've been jaded by life. They think that life is about hiding your heart and protecting your heart instead of just letting your heart pour out. Wearing your heart on your sleeve, for example, tends to be a bad trait that people will say that you might have. I know people have told me when I was younger that I wear my heart on my sleeve and I'm just going to get hurt by doing that. But I beg to differ. I feel that people that wear their heart on their sleeves, people that love and get hurt and continue to love, are some of the most fiercest, the most strong-willed people that are out there. Because they're defying what the general person does, which is they get all down and out and upset about how love isn't working or isn't looking the way they want it to. Everything is love. We just have to open our scope to see it as all being love. Have confidence. Have confidence. Moving forward does not necessarily require you to have confidence in yourself. Confidence in God is enough, along with knowing that God works through you and with you in all ways. Lean upon us if your confidence wavers, and we will buoy your courage and faith. Moving forward does not necessarily require you to have confidence in yourself. Confidence is one of those things that we cultivate the more we deal with situations that most people don't want to deal with, and staying out of our comfort zone, even though it's uncomfortable and we tend to fail more when we're uncomfortable, it also gives us room to grow, room to improve the things that we're not good at. And that is what builds confidence, is when you see time and time again that even though you fail, it makes you better. That will eventually get you to a place where you don't longer fear failing. You no longer fear rejection. And if you no longer fear failing or rejection, then you naturally will have confidence, because you're more open to fall on your face and get back up and say it's all right. That, and we think that we have a personal will, and to some aspect we do have the ability to choose, but there's also a higher will, God's will. Thy will be done. There's certain things that life has orchestrated for each person to experience, and of course we might resist or walk away from something that we must go through, but life will just find another way to continue to bring it back into our life until we deal with it. This is what karma is. Karma is just cause and effect. If you're somebody that is unconsciously hurting people, but you were trained that means that you're loving people, not hurting them, karma is going to keep showing you the experience that you're causing others in your own perspective, so that hopefully you can see how much damage you're doing. But this takes awareness. This takes time to really sit and contemplate. Most people don't even realize that when, for example, when you judge somebody, everything that you're saying about the person you're judging is really what you also are. I'm not saying that the things that you're saying about that person aren't true, but they're also just as true within the person that's judging than the person that's being judged. That's why you hear about judge not unless you too be judged. Because you're basically, it's like you can only see the colors that you know. And if you didn't know the colors, you wouldn't see them. Just like you can only see the judgments that you also have within you. If you're somebody that has gotten past blame and complain and judgment and all that, all those negative emotions, you're not going to search for those in other people. You're not going to flag people when they do something and say, oh, they're this or they're that, and then make a mental note that person is selfish or that person is hateful. Even if they show symptoms of those things, if you get yourself right first, it's like those things can't exist in your reality because they're not existing in you. So you'll just either completely be ignorant to them, or life will just put you in a scenario where you won't be near that at that moment. Molly says, if we love ourselves genuinely, be kind to ourselves, we will create abundance for ourselves. I wear my heart on my sleeve always, and I'm proud too. Amen, Molly. If I come across something I'm not good at, I'll keep tackling it till I get good. That's it. You know, there's so many things we've tackled that we sucked at, and now we're good at. So that is proof that just because you're not good at something doesn't mean you gotta give up. If anything, it's more of a reason to keep doing it, because then you'll get better at it. Play, beloved one, it is time to set aside work for a while. Don't worry, we will oversee your responsibilities to their completion. Playfulness, gaiety, and laughter will lift your energy so that you'll return to work with a renewed perspective and heightened energy. This is feeling to me like it's for the ones that are still in quarantine or the ones that have a little more time. Pretty self-explanatory. Don't forget to be a kid. I know we're told that we're adults and we can't have fun like kids, but I don't believe that. I feel that if anything, it's more of a reason to have fun because we take life so much more seriously than kids. I have a great time when I spend time with my kids and I just let myself loose and I get to be a kid again. It's very rejuvenating. It's a great way of releasing our tensions, releasing our insecurities for maybe a moment, hopefully more as the more we do it. But even at work, even in serious situations, try to find the humor in things. When you do something silly, instead of criticizing yourself like I do a lot, I now am trying to laugh. I'm trying to laugh at myself. Just laugh at my own human clumsiness and my human traits that sometimes are a little quirky. Because we're our own worst critic and we don't realize how much damage we're doing by listening to that commentator in our head that's always convincing us how horrible we did or how we could have done better. It's slowly, it's kind of like we're a lion, but that voice is convincing us that we're a lamb. So even though we look like a lion, we don't have the power that we were naturally given. We believe that we're this meek creature that needs to be protected instead of this fierce warrior that was given everything they need to empower themselves and to receive whatever they need to receive. We're all lions. We're not sheep. Damn. 45-hour work week. Yeah, Marissa, I think that play one was for you. I remember when I travel, I used to work almost 80 hours a week, and it's tough working those kind of hours. It's not always easy. Entrepreneur, self-employment suits your disposition and intentions. Working for yourself allows you to better follow your intuition and divine guidance. We are your co-workers and teammates who remain loyally by your side to ensure your success in all ways. Entrepreneur, this is the time to be an entrepreneur because there's just so many tools now on the internet that makes it so much easier for people to start a business. You could damn near start a business online right now and not pay more than $100, you know. So if you're good at something, think of ways on how to use the things that you're good at to make a living, to do something that makes you feel good. Nobody wants to live a life where they're doing what they were told to do, not instead of doing what they were destined to do. You know that you're following your destiny because you feel it in your heart. You feel fire awaken within you when you're doing it. Instead of losing energy, you're actually gaining energy. It makes you feel fulfilled when you're done doing whatever it is that you were doing. These are all signs that something I forgot, but I was trying to say that when you follow your excitement, life will always find a way of bringing the next thing that's exciting for where you're at. So all we have to do is learn to be playful, but also learn to follow our excitement, learn to follow things that bring joy into our heart naturally, because that's what we're good at. Entrepreneur, now is the time to create something new, create your own wealth, create your own business. Now they have all these grants that they're giving out. They want the economy to go back up. So I'm sure there's going to be people out there that are going to want to help you if you have a good idea. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to make a living. So if you have something that's valuable, people are going to pay attention to you. Instead of trying to make the money, focus on doing something that you feel empowered and valuable when you do it, and the rest will come. Oh wow, I've been thinking about starting me up a small business selling my necklaces and trinkets. I have been learning to do macrame. I don't know if I said that right. Yeah, I mean, now you got Etsy, you got all these websites where you could very easily just sell your stuff. You don't need brick and mortar like you used to in the old days. Last card, giving and receiving. Giving and receiving. The entire universe operates in cycles similar to your inhalations and exhalations. When you only exhale, give, or only inhale, receive, you become out of rhythm with the universe. For optimal health, energy, and replenishment, balance each inhalation in your life with an exhalation. Great card to finish. What I'm getting from this card is you gotta stop putting things in piles and then favoring one pile over the other, because life doesn't work that way. Life isn't going to just give you the things you favor in one pile because you told it to. It's going to give you both piles at an even rate. If you knew that something was going to keep happening for the rest of your life, why would you resist it? Just like if we know that these cycles aren't going to stop, that there's always going to be night and day, there's always going to be man, woman, there's always going to be give, receive, there's always going to be inhalation, inhalation, exhalation, there's always going to be robbers and there's going to be cops. It's just how it is. There has to be duality because it gives us the bandwidth, the spectrum, the space in which to create diversity. If we didn't have 2 points, we wouldn't have a middle. Which is why a lot of our lives are so out of balance, because we don't want a middle. We want just good. And then when bad shows up, instead of saying, well, bad's going to keep showing up because it has to, we run away from the negativity. We try to say that it's bad and evil and we need to not think about it or not face it, and this just creates that negativity to become stronger, because now you're telling yourself that it can affect you, that it can hurt you, that it can deter you from your true self. Give yourself the ability to feel bad. Give yourself the freedom to get upset. Give yourself the freedom to feel down and out once in a while. It's not bad to exhale. I know some people feel like, or know, we all know that we need oxygen to survive, so we have to inhale. But we also know that if we don't exhale, we can't take in more oxygen. And energetically, if we hoard all of our positive emotions, when it's time to let them go, we have a harder time. And by not letting them go, we're not allowing new positive emotions or positive inhalations to enter our life. All right. I love getting into my inner child, just the laughter that comes along with it, very uplifting. Yes, I'm clumsy, but I'm always tripping upstairs. But I just laugh and say, oopsies. That's good. You seem like you got that part mastered. Some people take life too seriously. They don't smile or laugh as much. I'm one of them. I used to love to have a good time and smile, and for some reason I let what other people thought of me to kind of mold me and change who I was for a while. Now I'm finally finding my roots, and I invite you all to do the same. Don't let people change you just because you want to fit in. We were designed to each be different. Just like I'm sure you've all heard that no snowflake is different. No snowflake is the same, but yet there's so many that have existed. No flowers the same, no trees the same, no humans the same. And to try to make humanity the same is as silly as saying we should only have one tree, we should only have one fruit, we should only have one type of house for everyone. It's not gonna work. Instead, we gotta look at the diversity in the world and pick the things that resonate with us and just keep those things. And whatever doesn't resonate, turn the cheek. We don't have to face every battle we see. We're a lot more empowered when we take what works for us and we use that, instead of take what doesn't work for us and fight that. So much love to you guys. I hope that reading helped. If it did, please share this out. You could always leave me a review on Divine Wisdom with some feedback. I always love to hear feedback from people, whether it's good or bad. I don't care. Bad is good too, because it helps me grow. And good is bad also, because sometimes, the ego can take compliments and allow the ego to get a little too big. So make sure you stay in that middle way, like I've been talking about a lot lately. Alright. You're welcome. Much love. Have an amazing weekend if I'm not on here live for the weekend. And till next time. Peace.